Hi, I'm Steve Allen, and this morning we're going to talk about the SA3 Possum Trap. This trap's been specifically designed to catch large numbers of possums, and we do that through two key points: being incredibly time efficient at being set out and being able to get the trap in the field. So an experienced trapper can get up 20, 30, even on really good situation, even 40 traps in an hour. The other key part about the trap is with using the correct techniques, we can get high strike rates. That means overnight, at least 80% of your traps can have a possum in when things are going well, and sometimes even getting to 90%. So the key bits to our system, and it is a system, a cordless drill, the nut driver, 150mm long nut driver, 5/16 diameter bit, and the key bit is tape this into your drill. Otherwise, sooner or later, especially when you're taking the trap off and you're in reverse, the drill bit can rattle loose and you lose it. So tape it in. You also need a variety of screws, mainly 55mm long ones, a few shorter ones around the 40mm, and a few longer ones, the 65mm, and these are for the softer wood trees, the trees with thick bark and that sort of thing. And for trees that have really hard timber, the shorter screw. The other key factor we need is every trapper's favorite, it's just your flour sugar mix. So that's half flour, half sugar. That can be any type of sugar, brown sugar, white, icing sugar. The key thing is the sweetness. And just put your favorite lure in, whether it's cinnamon or nutmeg or whatever. But the key thing is the sugar. So what we'll do now, we're going to walk over to a tree and we're going to go through the process. We're going to set the SA3 Possum Trap, and we've picked this cockatoo tree out for a number of reasons. It's on the edge of the bush, it's currently got berries on, and although it won't show up on the camera, there's actually a reasonable possum run going right past it. And if you have the trapper, when you have a close look, you can see lots of scratch marks on the tree, especially where they get their little paws in a groove. So there's lots of positive things happening with this tree. So to set the trap up, very quick and easy. Right screw for this type of tree, and there, set. All it needs baiting, and that's the advantage of this trap. It means we can get lots of traps out per hour, lots of traps per day, and lots of traps being lots of possums. Simple as that. So what we're going to do now though is go through another process of where, to get the maximum performance out of these traps, we pre-feed them. So the normal situation is I'd screw this trap to the tree and we fill it full of bait. And be messy with it. Leave a bit on top, put plenty down the bottom, and we'll come back in 2 or 3 days, or even if, depending if the weather's not favourable, we might come back in 4 or 5 days. But when as a trapper, we can do it with the situation when it suits us more. So we'll come back and the bait should be all gone, trap will be all cleaned out, there'll be signs on the ground where the bait has been dug out of the ground, and there'll be little bits of possum fur, and that will show us the possums have really keyed into what we're doing. This is the next tree we're going to set a trap on. Classic place to catch possums. We've got a leaning old puri tree. We've got a bit of sign on it, but the key thing is they like to run along these things. So once again, we just traps in position, get me bait, and plenty of pre-feed. So once again, we'll come back in a couple of days time, bait will be all cleaned out, and we'll set the trap. And in a very short period of time, we've put out 15 traps. If it wasn't for the fact we're filming them, we probably could have done that in 15 to 20 minutes. Very easy going, lots of possum signs, so I'm familiar with this area, so I can bang out a lot of gear very quickly. And that's the critical advantage. If you want to catch a lot of possums, you need a lot of gear out there. And this trap, its design, the techniques mean we can get an awful lot of gear out. And with the pre-feeding, when we finally come to set the trap, we know we're going to get a very high strike rate. Okay, I'm back. We just checked the first 10 traps that we put out. We caught 7 possums. It's a little bit average, but there's a lot of food around at the moment, and yeah, it's a competition to get the possums off what they're conditioned to eat to the bait that we use. So what we're going to do now is film the last 5 traps and see how we go. Surprisingly, one of what I would expect it to be the best site is gone. The trap hasn't even been visited. So what we're going to do, we do a couple of extra things just to increase the chances of a possum being caught. The first thing we're going to do, just freshen up, scrape any of the older bait out of there, reset the trap. And what we've done down the bottom here is just handy a bit of old broken post, something to distract the possum a little bit more, and we'll put a little bit bait there for him to get a taste of. Right, to the next trap. Okay, so this is the next trap. Got a lovely big old female in it. I'll quickly remove her and reset the trap. So much bait, and about the same amount outside the trap. And that's so if a possum's caught in here, the next possum that comes along, he can get another taste of the bait, and once again pre-fed. Okay, so we'll move on to the next trap. Okay, this is the next trap. Once again, we'll just quickly we'll check. Yeah, just we don't want to build up a sticky old bait. And down here we can actually see where its bait is spilled and the possums have been scratching at it to get it. So that tells us the system's working well when the possums are really keyed into the bait. Okay, so this is the best possum we got this morning. Hasn't taken very long at all to go around our trap line, 15-20 minutes at the most. 15 traps, 11 possums. That's all within the parameters of what we'd normally catch. So the traps will get checked tomorrow, and in the next few days till they start to run out of possums to catch, and then they'll get moved on a little bit further to a new area bush. But we're mainly here this morning just to demonstrate the performance of the trap and how to use it.